All right. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, chosen ones, once again, to another episode on Antonicus Motivates. And y'all already know about how we do about this time. About to go ahead and get into another video. Crank up, warm up. Friday, May 22nd, 2026. And you know, as usual, I always have plenty to talk to you about your wicked and evil haters and enemies. And we have to have these discussions every day, man, on a daily basis. And the reason for this is because they are not like us. And chosen one, they will face judgment for what they've done to you. There's no escape for them. They must pay for everything that they did to you. And one of the main things that they did to you, you know, that was one of the worst things they did to you that you're not going to forget, is the way they publicly humiliated you. But you also not going to forget the way they disrespected you. And you're not going to forget how, you know, they treated you. After all the good things you did for many of these people, and how you were nice to people who were not nice to you. You're not going to forget about that. But you know now what it was the whole entire time, you know, and so we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how you survived the humiliation rituals they put you through, and how you overcame, nonetheless, everything that they did to you that was just so despicable. It really was despicable. And you're still here, still surviving. Not only did you survive the humiliation, but you survived their attacks. And you know they was all in on it together now. You know they were. It was all of them together to try to bring you down. So now you don't trust nobody. And I don't blame you. This is not the season to trust nobody no more. You know, we're living in a society full of sellouts and traitors, man. Fakes and snakes. Backstabbers and liars. Clear off my windshield, put on my shades before we get into this video, because, you know, I'm always going to tell you just how it is, man. And just how it was with you. But you know, we've already went over in several videos about the reasons for this humiliation crap, to where it's like this superiority complex or whatever that they had over you, to try to belittle you and everything like that. But it was just so bad. It was just so bad, the humiliation, though, man. I mean, it really was. you did a lot of good things for these people. You know, you helped people. You even gave your last to some of these people, these same people. But the whole entire time, you know, they had to see you fail, and they had to do what they had to do to you to try to sabotage you and everything. But the humiliation was the worst, man. It really was. Many of you had to be, you know, without for a very long time. Many of you probably lost your homes, or you were homeless because of this. You barely scraped by because part of this humiliation was attacking you financially as well. They didn't never want you to have the financial power. Basically what this was like castrating your manhood. That's what it was, what they did to you. That's the reason why the penalty is going to be so severe for what they did. But you know also the reason why they did this to you, to try to do this to you, is because they had already saw you as that alpha. They had already saw you as that winner. They saw in you what you couldn't even see in yourself at times, at some of your low times. They had saw in you what you couldn't see. And it really drove them crazy that it was not them. So they were so jealous that basically what they had to do was try to break you in every way possible. So they threw everything they had at you in an attempt to do this. But you survived it all. And y'all already know my story. I done told you, man. I'm still in this little mobile home with my mom, who's 84 years old, because of all of this. And I've done told you about how challenging this has been after they've even attacked me. And I told you about this. And I'm going to tell my story to the world because they think they got away with it, but they didn't. And this has been since September 25th, 2024, when they shot up our house in the drive-by shooting. And they think they covered it all up, but they didn't. They didn't cover nothing up from God. God saw it all. And I'm never going to give up, and I'm never going to stop fighting because of this. And I'm still here on my channel every day because of this, because I'm going to tell the whole world, like I said. And this whole entire fake town and everyone who was involved, I know they were all together in on it. I know they were. There's no doubt about it now. But you know who they were, chosen ones who did what they did to you as well. And you know, they showed you who they were. They showed you who they were, and you'll never, ever, ever forget. But I know, because my intuition tells me that it was all of them. They were all in on it together. And every day I'm still praying for justice. Because, you know, it wasn't until I awakened, when I finally awakened, and I remembered who I was, that all of the pieces of the puzzle came together, man. And I know it was after that they was losing the control, because they was trying to keep me in the box, to keep me small. That was part of this humiliation thing, man. They want to make you small, chosen one. It's all by design. You know, it was part of their witchcraft and their spells and all that they sent at you. But you survived it. And so since you survived it, now you've lived, now you're going to tell about it. And I mean, this has just been so bad for me personally, man. It's been so bad because some days I don't know how I've been able to get up and keep going. But I keep going and I keep getting up and I keep going because I know I have to tell my story for the other chosen ones who've been through similar experiences, who they've done similar things to, and who they've tried to silence. That was another part of this humiliation thing. And like I said, this is all part of their control. They was trying to control you, but you can't be controlled. You won't be controlled. And they don't realize just what they got themselves into when they messed with you and when they came up against you, chosen one. There's going to be hell to pay for what they did to you. I mean, some of you, some of the chosen ones, I know some of you have really, literally, probably came very close to going into a mental institution or something because of what they did. That's just how bad it has been. So now everything that they did to you is coming back to them because none of it worked. Everything that they did to you must return to the sender now because none of it worked. And they're not going to survive it. They're not going to survive it the way you survived it. Because they're not like you. It was terrible. It still is terrible for many of you, including myself. And many of you are still in your storms, your personal storms. You know? And the thing about it that makes it worse, all the more worse, chosen one, is that many of you chosen ones went through a lot of this stuff during the worst times humanity has ever seen, and during these end times, during these times where Bible prophecy is unfolding. That's what makes it even worse. But you are actually bringing about their crumbling and their, you know, destruction of their empire. You are actually the reason why the illusion is breaking, because you've been awakened. But you know another reason why they tried to do this humiliation thing to you, to humiliate you, to make you less than, and try to castrate your manhood from you financially and every other way, to where you couldn't have no relationships or nothing, was because, you know, it was all out of jealousy. And it was also because they knew that you knew the forbidden knowledge that no one else was supposed to know. And you was already sharing a lot of your knowledge that you had with others. But they still chose to remain asleep anyway. Even after you tried to tell them, you tried to show them everything that you knew when your third eye was open, when you were awakened, when the scales were removed from your eyes. You tried to show them everything that you see that's happening right now, that you saw that was coming. That was part of the reason why you were sent, was to try to awaken them to the secret societies and to everything that was happening. You know that it was them in these secret societies that did this to you. Because, like I said, they were part of it. They knew that you knew about them and about the whole illusion. Soon as you are awakened, they know you. Well, really, they've been knowing you since day one, since you came out your mother's womb. But they knew you all the more when you started telling others about them. And many of you chosen ones were born into families that have them in your families or whatever. And I've done told y'all my story about my family that I was born into, and how I was the black sheep of the family, and how I tried to show them the truth about the Mormons, the Mormon religion, because I was awakened to all of that. And I know that that was the Holy Spirit and God showing me and revealing to me about all of that. So I would not be surprised if it was not some of my own family members that ghosted me and left me for dead as well, that was involved in all of this humiliation and these humiliation rituals. Because, like I said, many of y'all chosen ones, you know, you was born into these type of families who had like witchcraft going on even in your own family. And they tried to sacrifice you. They probably tried to sacrifice you. They probably took out insurance policies on you or whatever and tried to, you know, sacrifice you. And they've been waiting for a very long time for you to give up, or for you to unalive yourself so they could collect on all of that. That's how evil they are. But this has all got to come to light. Everything that was done in the dark must come to the light. You know? And I'm going to keep on telling my story here, because until I get all the answers to all my prayers, man, you know, I'm not stopping, man. I'm not stopping, because I can't. Too much has been done to me, man. They tried to take my whole entire life away from me. That's what they did. They literally tried to take my whole entire life away from me. They destroyed my business. They attacked they attacked me. I've even showed y'all proof. I've showed you proof. I've told you. And also they continue to threaten me. Even to this day. With property tax bills. What property do I have? I done showed y'all everything. I told you, you can see, I stay with my 84-year-old mother in a little mobile home. But yet they keep sending me these property tax bills. They keep going up by $1,000 every time. And so I'm making this public. I'm telling my story, man. Because they must be found out for what they did with this humiliation thing and what they're still trying to do to humiliate me. And they will be found out. So anyway, y'all already know, chosen one, what time it is. I'm here at my location, at my spot. I'm about to go ahead and get into day number 46 on this burpees training session real quick. So, I'm going to go ahead and get out right now, get my backpack on, or I'm going to get the burpees training session on. Then after that, I'm going to get my backpack on, and then I'm going to come back to you, and continue to talk to you more on this topic about you survived the humiliation rituals, and now the same way they tried to humiliate you is going to be the way they are going to be humiliated. And there's going to be hell to pay for them. All right? So stay tuned. I'll be back. All right, chosen ones. So I'm back now. And back to what we was talking about, where I left off as we walk it out, about the humiliation they put you through. This was done with malicious intent towards you. And part of the reason why this was done to you, well, the main reason why this was done to you was to try to break you. It was also to try to force you back into conformity or people pleasing, altering who you were in order to please others around you. So for a little while, for a season, you was probably like going through a state where you were thinking to yourself things like, man, did I do something wrong? You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with everything? Where did I go wrong? Like, you was probably even like going over your work, like trying to see where your work was wrong or something like that. But you knew your work was right. You know what I mean? You knew everything was on point. So then you was like, okay, that started like making you think hard about what was going on. But then you wasn't sure because, like I said, you was in this, you didn't know that they was all doing it to you at the time. You didn't know that it was everyone around you doing this to you. And then you were also thinking to yourself like, well, maybe I just have a more or less fortunate life than other people. But you knew you was talented. So you was like, how could that be? You could see your own talents, even though others would not acknowledge them. You know, you could see them. It was clear to you. So it's almost like it's a form of like torture or torment, because you know in your mind that that you can see everything. You can see it, but it's like nobody else can see it. And it's like, it's really just one of the things that you had to like overcome, to know that, that you were always, excuse the distractions, man. I hate when people come riding by me when I'm making my video, playing music and trying to distract me. But this is another thing that we have to go over, but I'm not editing nothing out of the video. But like I was saying though, you knew that who you were. Well, really, what it is they wanted to make you think that you had failed. This was all psychological, man, to get up in your head. Or to feel ashamed. That's what this whole humiliation thing was for. It was to get up in your head to try to make you feel like you had failed or like you were ashamed. And you had to overcome all of this because you had to believe in yourself in order to do it. Because nobody else was going to believe in you in your fake hometown or wherever you were, where this happened to you. I know many of you have went through this though. But another reason for all of this is because a reason why this has all happened is because of the gatekeepers and the ones out here, like we have already talked about before, who control everything. And they wanted to control you just like they control everybody else and everything else out here. But you weren't created to be controlled because you're not from here and you're different. So this humiliation thing that they used against you, it really is something that's a serious, severe thing for a lot of people, because it made us second guess ourselves for a moment. And it caused us to be ostracized. It caused us to be put aside. And so that right there is also just like, it's like not allowing somebody else to have the same opportunities who works just as hard for those opportunities because of their mindset or something like that. But you had to realize that you had to stand your ground. You had to learn that you had to stand your ground and that you could not no longer ever again try to, fit back in again or try to change yourself back into what they wanted you to be, because to them then you would be acceptable. But they've already did what they did, and it's irreversible. And so they will have to stand account for all of this, for what they've done to you. They will face judgment for this, because this caused a lot of you lasting, scars and stuff like that on your life, man. You carrying around scars and stuff like that because of what other people tried to do to steal from you what you worked hard for, and what you know and could see was your gifts. So it's like, it's just something that has taken a lot of strength to overcome. But the main thing that helped you the most through this all is your mindset. See, the only way this humiliation thing can work on you really is if you believe in it, and you believe that you're less than, or you believe that you're small. That's the only way this humiliation thing can work. See, you're a giant in the spirit, and God knows that. But they wanted to make you, this is all the forces of darkness wanting to make you think that you're not. Wanting you not to be able to just realize how powerful you are. So once you understand how powerful you are, then you know that everything they're trying to do to humiliate you, it's all an illusion. It's all part of the illusion. So you had to figure out on your own. You had to figure out on your own that all of this was by design to try to break you. Well, you didn't just figure it out on your own. Your intuition showed you, and the Most High showed you. Really, it was the Most High who showed you. And that's how you was able to survive it. And that's how you're still surviving it even now, and telling your story about it. So now you're standing in your authority, knowing who you are, and you're making your declarations and your decrees and everything like that. And they will face justice for what they did. You doing your what you have to do, to reach your highest version of yourself, to become the best version of yourself, to go in to, put into work every day. And that right there is what helped you, is helping you, and has helped you to overcome a lot of this. And you will overcome everything that they did. And they will have to pay for everything that they did. And for trying to silence you. And for attacking your finances. And part of this whole thing with this humiliation thing too, I know now, was the way they tried to control me when I was on my jobs and stuff, by maybe making me like have to kneel down and pull weeds and stuff like that, and in the hot sun and stuff like that. And then, not paying as much as they should on the job and stuff like that. making me haul their junk, put it in my yard. With the truck that I rebuilt out of my own blood, sweat, and tears. And then when everything happened the way it happened, and they sent the county officials after me and the Babylon system after me, that was all part of the humiliation, to send the business license men after me after the time of the whole thing like that. And this was all by design to get up into here to my head, to try to make me lose it or lose my mind during that time, because they use everything against you financially to try to break you, to try to make you snap, to try to make you crash out. They know you need what you need to pay your bills, because they control all the bills. They control everything. So they know what you need. They know everything you need. And they know right where you are, because they know all of these devices. They use all of these devices against us. They know right where you are, what you're doing, where you live, and all of that. They can track you. This is what I tried to make people aware of back since 2013. And this was back around the time when Edward Snowden, was making everything known. When he blew the whistle on a lot of this stuff. But you already know they know everything you need. They know everything about you. So everything is fear and intimidation tactics. All of this is fear. All of this is designed to try to make you afraid, to try to scare you, to try to make you worry about what you need. But like I said, you don't need nothing, because Matthew chapter 6 tells you that you're not supposed to worry about what you need. But they want you to worry about what you need, worry about your bills, worry about all of that. So this is the reason why they did everything they did to you, to humiliate you. Or this is my case. I'm speaking for myself in my case. With what they did to me with the business license men and all of that, and the police, sending the police to me on my job. When I'm working out here, cutting limbs and palm trees and stuff like that, sending the police up to me to ask me about my business licenses and stuff like that, when I was already barely making enough money as it was to put food on the table for me and my mother, who's 84 years old now. At the time, she was 83 or 82. And so I'm telling my story to the world because it was pure evil. And they know I wasn't making all that much of money doing what I was doing. They know I only had a few customers, landscaping customers who I was working for, doing yard work for. I didn't even have no zero-turn lawnmower. I didn't have no real big crews or heavy equipment or nothing like that. I was just a micro business. And so these are the authorities. This is what they did. And I'm telling my story to the world about what they did to humiliate me, man. And they haven't gotten away with none of it. They haven't gotten away with it. They think they got away with it. And then the whole town, basically the whole town and the people who I did these jobs for and stuff like that, and these people, they stood by, after they basically took everything from me, and they didn't say nothing, do nothing. They could care less if I died. If I died broke, they could care less if I died broke. These people don't care about you. They don't care about you. They don't give a middle finger about you. And so this is the society we live in now, man. And this is what kind of people you have all around you out here. But now you know, and you see them for who they all are. When they left you for dead and you seen them. And like I said, I know what this was all about. Basically, this was another one of their tactics to try to make you conform again or turn back to them for support or help, or turn to one of your fake family members or beg one of your fake family members for help or for money. And you know, as soon as you do that, then there's strings attached to that. But you soldiered it out. You wouldn't ask them for shit. And you're never gonna ask them for nothing. You know you don't need nothing, and you know the word. Like I said, Psalm 23:1, the Lord is your provider. You shall not want anything. And you're standing in your independence. You declare your independence. You boldly declare your independence under the blood of Jesus Christ that covers you. And you rebuke the devil and all this humiliation that they put you through in the blood of Jesus. I rebuke all that humiliation stuff, trying to make me less than, trying to belittle me, trying to shame me, trying to make me feel like I've done something wrong, to try to force me back into the old version of myself. See, familiarity breeds contempt. And this is one reason why this happens as well in your hometown or whatever that you're from. Because they're familiar with you. They remember you from your high school days or from back in the day when you used to party, when you used to hang out, when you used to chill. And that's the only way they're ever going to remember you and the things you did back then. They will never ever see you as the new version of yourself. They will never see you as the new version of yourself. But you know that you came out of all of that stuff. And that's the reason why you did what you did. Because you had came away from all of that stuff. And you had become the new version of yourself. And you were working on yourself. And you were doing well. And you were winning. And you were breaking records. And you was in the gym. You was, you know, becoming faster, stronger. Until they did what they did to you to humiliate you. And this caused you maybe to lose self-esteem. And to stop believing in yourself. But when you remember who you were, then you was like, nah, man, I'm not playing that no more. I know I'm a winner. I know I'm gifted. I know I'm talented. I know I'm blessed. Just because y'all can't see it or because you don't want to hear it or you want to try to turn a blind eye to it, that don't mean nothing. So that's how you was able to break the spell of this humiliation thing. But that's what it was. It was a spell. It was a curse. They sent at you with black magic. Also, when they engaged in running their mouth on you, you know, that is black magic too. Whether you realize it or not. I mean, most people don't even think about it, but you know, most people are not even aware, but really it's a form of black magic when you run your mouth about somebody behind their back. That's what it is. It's a form of black magic, of witchcraft. So, you know, this is what people do, though, who waste their time. But you don't waste your time. You got way better things to do with your time. Like your content creation, or your music, or your fitness, or whatever it is. These are the things they wanted you to stop doing. Now you know it. You was doing great at that before. So they were celebrating when you fell off and you stopped doing that. Or when you got, but now you know that everything was done with malicious intent, on purpose towards you, to make you lose your self-esteem or to stop doing that properly. And you probably did, like I said, think there was something wrong or think there was something wrong with you for a very long time. And this caused you a lot of time lost, a lot of time wasted now. Time that you can never get back, but it also taught you lessons, valuable lessons that have been learned now about people and about, you know, how they do and how, you know, most people out here now are part of this zombie matrix, and they are all part of, you know, the illusion. And some people you can't reach. And once you come to the knowledge of that and the understanding of that, then, you know, you just leave them alone. Now you leave them alone. And now it's over between you and them. And you're still going to do what you came to do anyway. And they're going to have to see you do it anyway. And they're going to have to see you do everything that they tried to stop you from doing. And they're going to have to see you become better at it. And they're going to see you become better every day. They're going to see you push yourself harder every day. They're going to see you rise more and more every day. And that's going to destroy them all the worse. The more that you rise and continue to rise after everything they did to stop you, to betray you, to backstab you, to humiliate you, to make you feel less than, that's going to piss them off and make them so much more angry, more so than anything else in the whole world. But you don't care. You do not care, because it's your winning season. It's your time. And you're a warrior. You're a soldier in the army of God. You cannot be defeated. You will not be defeated. You will win. You will never abort your mission. You will never stop. You're unstoppable. And so, yeah, just remember that. If you've been through this, and continue to believe in yourself no matter what nobody thinks about you. And if you have to stay alone in order to stand for what you believe in, then that may be what you have to do until God put the right winners in your life. That may be just what you have to do, unfortunately. So if you are in this situation, or if you have been in this situation where others have tried to belittle you, put you down, make condescending remarks to you, or try not to acknowledge you, or try to do things to you to humiliate you, then recognize those red flags when they happen and don't take it lightly. You know, don't tolerate no disrespect from nobody no more, because they don't have no right to disrespect you just because of where you stand financially, or where you stand, or where you may live, or where you drive, or anything like that. Or just because you might be still getting started out on whatever your fitness program is, and you starting to make progress or whatever, and you probably ain't all the way there, you ain't all the way where you need to be. So they making fun of you because they trying to throw you off of what you was doing, because they know that you will get there. And they want you to go back to where you came from, to keep you down, to hold you down. That's what it's all about, is to try to hold you down. They want to keep you down. That's what the system is designed for, to keep you down. The authorities don't want you rising up into who God wants you, into who God created you to be. They're terrified of that, but they're going to have to be terrified. And they better be terrified, because judgment is coming for them for all that they did to you. And they're going to be cast into the lake of fire and burn in eternal flames in hell. And there's no escape for them, because they stole your life, is what they did by doing this to you. And I've made videos about that before. And so I'm telling my story to the world, man. And they think they covered everything up in this little town. They think they covered everything up that they did to me, and that they was never going to be found out. But they are going to be found out, because I'm going to tell the whole world in this little town. And I'm going to say the name of it right here on the camera: Beaufort, South Carolina. In this little town, Beaufort, South Carolina. I'm going to tell everybody about what they did to me in Beaufort, South Carolina. Yes. This is what they did to me here. And I put out 5 albums. I Give God the Glory 1, 2, 3, and Forever Volume 1 and 2. Glorifying the Most High God. And giving people basically everything, my last. Working by the sweat of my brow, doing little landscaping jobs and stuff like that. Then they send the police and the authorities after me to terrorize me like terrorists, and to try to take my last from me. And they're still terrorizing me with the county, property tax bills and stuff like that. When I already told y'all I live in a little single-wide mobile home with my 84-year-old mother, who I do mostly everything for. But like I said, I know what this was all for. I know what it was all about. It was about my music. They was jealous. It was about my gifts and my talents. They didn't want to recognize it. They didn't want to give me the recognition, the due recognition that I deserve. And then they wanted to destroy me. And they wanted to stop my assignment from what I came to do for the Most High God. But when they did that, they didn't just come up against me. They came up against him. That's who they came up against. So I'm letting it be known to the whole world. And I'm going to tell my story every day to the whole world about what they did to me. All right? So anyway, I hope y'all are all having a blessed day, man. And just know, if you've been through this humiliation stuff, you are not alone. I've been through it. I know what it's like. I understand it. And I'm here for you, man. I can relate to you, if you've been through this. So just keep doing your thing. Keep fighting every day and never give up, all right? So till the next one, man. I'm going to catch y'all all on the next one, man. As always, peace, love, light, blessings to you all, family. And yeah, see y'all on the next one.